Right, thanks, Kevin. Our next presentation is from Nabi Hasan. Nabi is the head librarian of the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi, India. Nabi, please take it away.
So, Jack, hopefully I'm able to share my screen.
That looks good.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jack and the SLA for giving me this opportunity. So, as part of this presentation, I'm going to cover two of the aspects. One is related to like open access scenario in India, and another part is preprint repositories and the status of preprint repositories and Indian submission to the preprint repositories. So I think Jack has already made my task simpler by already covering the background. But of course, in open science and in academic publishing, the preprint is increasingly appearing in different repositories, and an open access research content is freely accessible over the internet. So public will have the right to access all research output generated from publicly funded research institutions. So I think in India, there are a group of institutions who have mandated, if they are funding some of the projects, they are asking for research to be made available publicly. So as far as so as far as the open access movement is concerned in India, like OA movement has brought tremendous opportunities for easy access to scholarly content across the world. Open access India has evolved slowly from early 2000s. And I think the contribution of Indian open access journal is also increasing, which is currently 2.5%, 5.7% as of now, as far as the Directive of Open Access Journal is concerned. And Open Access India, a community of practice, has formed advocating open access movement, open data movement, and open education in India. And we are also celebrating the Open Access Week for creating the awareness. And the government is also looking forward for strengthening the existing open access policies. And one of the major discussion currently going on in India is like one nation, one subscription. We are trying to open all the paywall content for the entire academic and research community of India through one nation, one subscription concept. So this is one of the screens which shows the open access initiatives and open access movement, the bodies which are taking initiatives from India. And we have a science, technology, and innovation policy, which is known as STIP India, and it has a great mandate from the government of India to focus on creating a central repository, to focus on open science, open data policy, open access, then one nation, one subscription, and open educational resources. In fact, I am also the coordinator of one of the MOOCs program, which I am heading as the coordinator of National Resource Center in Library Information Science for offering the MOOCs. So there are a lot of like efforts in this direction of open access, and Department of DBT and DST of India. These are two of the major funding bodies in India who have mandated that if they are funding the research, that should be made available in public domain. Then this Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is a group of 37 great institutions which have also mandated that if you are getting the funding from these institutions, if some research is funded by the institutions, then it should be made available to public in open domain. Then open access repositories in India, of course, they are responsible for collecting, organizing, preserving, providing access, and promoting the dissemination of the scholarly output. And the establishment of institution repository in developing countries like India ensures that national research becomes mainstream and contributes on an equal footing to the global knowledge pool. And UK-based directory, that is Open Door, lists currently 92 such repositories from India. Beside institute level repository, we have bigger national level initiatives, which include Shodh Ganga, which is a open access repository of Indian thesis, PhD thesis. Then we have a National Virtual Library of India. We also have a National Digital Library of India, and there is many other such initiatives. If you see the growth of repositories in India, it is continuously increasing and increasing. And if you would like to see the document in the Scopus versus open access repositories in India, so this is very interesting that the like submission of documents in Scopus index repositories is much more where comparing the submission in the Indian repositories. So you can see from this slide that out of total submission in the Scopus, the submission in the Indian repositories comparing to the submission in Scopus based repositories, 12.45%. It means Indian researchers are still more believing for their submission the other repositories which are hosted outside India. When we talk about preprint repositories, as we know that Jack has also covered, and preprint servers allows immediate sharing of research results and can provide quick feedback to help in the revision and preparation of a manuscript. So I'm not going to cover this because this has already been partly covered, and I think Jay is also going to talk about this. I will be mainly focusing on Indian component. But when we talk about the publication flow of preprint, so you can see like a scientist submit a manuscript, it goes to print server, then it has a workflow. So as you can see from the this image, so in the interest of time, I have to quickly cover all the contents. But everything comes with challenge. There are challenges as well with the preprint repositories like scoping risk or reliability and credibility. That is, predatory things are also associated with the preprint repositories. Like some people might copy the content from your preprint and then they may make misuse of that as well. And if you would like to discuss about the different subjects by preprint repositories for researchers, you have many repositories. These are global, like for STEM or for health or for economics or for law or for social science or humanities. So these are some of the globally popular preprint repositories. And these are some of the, you can say, logos of those, some of the preprint and open access repositories. As far as preprint repositories in India are concerned, they are still at the nascent stage. Indian researchers are yet to get trusted in general by these preprint repositories. We currently have over 100 repositories managed by individual Indian institutions, but those are not like preprint only repositories. They are hosting many other things as well. But India Archive and Agri Archive have been started, and these are becoming more popular as far as the preprint repositories are concerned. So like India Archive preprint repository service is hosted at Bangalore by Society for Promotion of Horticulture, and it was relaunched after the period of dormancy on 24 February 2022. And it includes original research, case studies, and many other subjects as well. Then NKR Agri Archive is free open access source of unpublished preprint across the agricultural sciences with the help of CAB International, and authors retain copyright and choose the option under which to make the article available, like CCY or some other ePrints at Indian Institute of Science is also hosting like preprint, postprint, and other versions as well. Then there is a AIJR maintained by a publisher based in one of the states from India. Then we have Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, which is a government organization, which is also hosting the content as part of preprint repository. Then as far as the Indian contribution, so as far as Indian contribution to global preprint repositories is considered, so significant contributions were found by the Indian researchers to global preprint servers. Hundreds of Indian physicists or basically people from the science engineering background, they are submitting their like preprints to different repositories, but these submissions are more in the repositories hosted outside India. And the primary institutions from India are like Indian Institute of Science, Indian Institute of Technologies, which is a group of institutions. Then also we have Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. These are also a group of institutions. So over 170 individual institutions were found depositing their preprints. Indian researchers have been using preprint servers as a powerful medium. And if you would like to see the Indian authors' contribution to global preprint repositories, you can see that we have contributed significantly to global preprint repositories. Like for archive, we have contributed 13.04%, or for med archive, we have contributed 14%, and like. And if you like to see Indian authors' contribution to global preprint repositories in graphical form, you can see here what is the contribution here. And top institutions have been reflected who have contributed in this graphical form, and the major contributor is Indian Institute of Science and other Indian Institute of Technologies like IIT Bombay, Madras, Kanpur, Delhi as well. So why preprint are still not popular in India? So one of the reasons is that there is not much credit to the preprint for the career advancement of the researchers and the faculty who are working in different institutions, and there is a lack of awareness, and researchers prefer to submit thesis to their institutional repository but are not ready to submit either preprint or sometimes postprint as well. They are not much aware what could be the advantages of submitting preprints, and there is no standards operating procedure as well from the government of India. So these are some of the key stakeholders who can help in improving preprints in India, like authors, public, or readers, or publishers, or funders, or librarians, etc. So how can libraries play a role? I think libraries or librarians can also play in improving the submission to preprint repositories by educating researchers about the range of preprint servers, helping researchers to navigate journal policies, promoting standard practices and technologies, and the library should work toward building up preprint services while inviting researchers with their valuable contributions. So Scopus also covers the preprints in its database, but I think the Scopus only reflecting preprint submissions in the author profile. These preprint submissions are not searchable as we are searching the papers or the author. Like here you can see this is one of the authors from IIT Delhi, and you can see 6 preprints. So they are reflected in author profile, but they are not searchable. So these are some of the other modern open review and commentary platform of preprints. Like you can upload something on social media like Facebook, Twitter, blog, Wikipedia, or online commentary features like archive. And there are many other online platforms as well. So apart from using preprint, postprint, or uploading on institutional repository, people can also increase their visibility by creating profile on some of these important sites, and their academic visibility and research impact may be improved. So with this, I would like to conclude that preprint are one of the elements within a broader open science ecosystem. The landscape of preprints in scholarly communication has changed dramatically over the years, and the establishment of preprint servers in India is at the nascent stage, but it is growing regularly, growing and growing. India Archive and Agri Archive will improve the quality of scientific research in the country because they are one of the major contributor for the Indian preprint submission. Stakeholders will have to work together to establish the trusted preprint responsibilities in India. Open Access India community hopes that the scenario will change in the future. And Indian journals should also encourage the submission of preprint, because many of the Indian journal, if a paper is submitted already in preprint repositories, and if it is reflected using the similarity software, then sometimes they are not considering. So if they start considering those publications as well, that will help increase the number of preprint submission. So Indian researchers have more submission in the global preprint repositories comparing those hosted in India. So this is one of the important aspect that Indian researchers are submitting lot of their preprint in the repositories hosted outside India. But Indian preprint repositories are yet not that popular. So I think this is one of the aspects. And these are some of the references which I have used. So I think this slide will be available to you. You can refer to these references. And with this, I would like to thank the SLA for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Jack. Over to you.